injuries. We can't really ignore it when we talk about that.
No.
Tim was mentioning Virgil van Dijk being out, but they were playing without a recognised senior centre-back at one stage. Yeah,
but we're talking about a team that are so well drilled in what they're doing. The three up front and the way they close down. The midfield, you're talking about Henderson and Wijnaldum. And then you've got Curtis Jones being able to be introduced into that with a machine that knows exactly what they're doing. Even the players who come in at the back, they know exactly what they're doing. And when you're pressing like that, I know it's cliche, but when you're defending that well from the front, you don't need to defend at the back. This is why, Tim's mentioning Van Dijk being missing. The reason why you can get away with that is because they defend so well from the front. You're not even getting to the guys. And when you've got someone like Fabinho playing as well as he is, you're not going to miss them yet. But the thing is, and the ominous thing is, they're all coming back soon. Some of them are come back quickly. I think Thiago's back in training now. I think that Liverpool are only going to go strength to strength here. Yeah, there's also the case that Liverpool weren't necessarily defending that well before the injury to Virgil van Dijk, because that was the Aston Villa game, of course. But with those young players coming through, you've got Curtis Jones, as Wright was saying, Reece Williams maybe coming in at centre-back occasionally. And Liverpool bringing through those younger players more quickly than they would have hoped for in normal circumstances.
It does feel a bit like that Klopp has been forced to bring Curtis Jones on quicker and more often than usually if there's a fit Thiago, for example. The same with Reece Williams and Nico Williams as well. But I think what we see is a team that functions well as a collective is able to absorb players who maybe are not quite at the level, and you can, I don't want to say hide because that's the wrong word, but you can get by surrounded by 7-8 of the regulars because they can carry you to a certain extent. That's
the way it should be, Raf. That's how you bring a young player in.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean, Tim? That's how it's meant to work. You know what I mean? We're seeing how it's not working in other places, but what Raf is saying is how you do it. So when they come in, they get used to what's going on, and then they feel like, yes, I can do this level. Then all of a sudden, when the main guy comes in, you know that Curtis Jones will probably come in, and he knows exactly what to do. But the way they're bringing the players through is brilliant, whether it's forced on them through injury or not. Not one of the youngsters coming through at Liverpool looked to me like, whoa, they need to ease him out of it a bit. They all look ready.
And so many of these young kids who get an opportunity in the Premier League now are good enough. I mean, we saw that with Chelsea. It was almost forced upon Chelsea with the embargo, with the transfers. They put the kids in. Some of their best players now are the kids. Give them an opportunity. How do you know if they're not good enough until you put them on the stage? And I think Liverpool are finding that now. Man United were the best at it. Sir Alex Ferguson, he built 3 teams over generations, and he done it by winning still. Because it's easier to drop them in around world-class players, good teachers in and around them, and that's what he did. Arsene Wenger did it at Arsenal. Dropped them kids in. If they're not good enough in the end, then you've managed to raise their profile and their price tags to be able to sell them on, regenerate that money back into your squad. That's the key. That's what you do. You don't put them in the struggling side. You put them in the struggling side, you'll never see them again, because the kids will always get the blame for the failures, and it's wrong. But that's the way of the world.
Well, it's not just about bringing through young players, and it's not just about coping with injuries. It's also about keeping hold of your best players. Jurgen Klopp was asked about Mo Salah.
I have to ask about Mo Salah as well, just following on from those quotes attributed to him last week. What can you say today to allay fears that he's unhappy, and I suppose subsequently any fears over his long-term future with his current deal running to 2023? Is it even time to talk about a new deal for him now?
About the deals, we never speak. Why should we start now? Not with you. So it's and the rest. So Mo is in a good mood. Mo is in a good moment. In really good shape. So that's the most important thing for me. And training. Okay, today were no cameras involved. No, you would have seen him laughing a lot. He enjoyed the session. So that's good as well. And all the rest is for sure nice for all of you to write about, but internally, no, nothing really.
Well, nice for people to write about, and okay for us to talk about, I think, as well, because it is something that's been spoken about, Mo Salah and his future. Jurgen Klopp doesn't seem particularly concerned about it.
No, because he sees him every day and probably sees a different Mo Salah to what the people are writing about, simply because you're not going to have a player of that calibre in a team playing so well with who are progressively continuing to play well and not have speculation around a player like that. And you know that the teams that what he could be going to, if at the moment, like we were speaking, Rafa, can they even afford to take him? I was saying, why would you want to leave at the moment for reasons other than, personal? Because you want to go, like we saw when Ronaldo went to Man United. It's something that he wanted to do as a dream. But for me at the moment, the way, when you listen to Jurgen Klopp, he sounds very confident in the fact that he's quite happy.
Let's talk about the potential places he could go, because that's one of the things, even if Mo Salah did want to leave Liverpool, he has to be able to go somewhere. And at the moment, are the clubs that he'd be interested in moving to able to buy him?
If you move on from a top Premier League club and you can't go to another Premier League club, that's given. There's only 2, maybe 3 places that can really give you a realistic perspective of improvement financially, maybe on a sporting level. It's the 2 big Spanish clubs plus PSG. Now, I don't think Liverpool are very surprised that these links are coming back. I don't think they were necessarily surprised that he was giving an interview in a Spanish newspaper, talking a little bit about maybe the possibility of one day leaving. It wasn't very concrete, but it was enough to get people in Spain very excited.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool have been long aware that perhaps he wants to one day move on. I don't think that's come as out of the blue for them. The question is now, A, do Liverpool feel, you know what, we got the best out of Mo Salah, he's turning towards his 30s, let's do this deal now where we can reinvest? Or will they say, you know what, we're just going to ignore it, and no one has the money? In Spain, they're really struggling at the moment. PSG, even they couldn't really do anything in the transfer market if you look what they did last summer because of FFP and other reasons. Is there really somebody that can come in paying Liverpool the kind of money that they would consider?
Yeah.
I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure it's going to happen.
Especially in the pandemic.
Yeah.
You'd probably be more afraid if we were in normal times, because Real Madrid and a Barcelona would be able to have the funds. But like you look at it now, you think, how would they finance that deal?
Yeah, I would have trust though. I would have trust in Liverpool. They know what they're doing in the transfer market. They've proven that over recent times. Alisson, they bring in Virgil, then they go with Jota. They're bringing players into that football club who are hitting the floor running, and I think that's due to the recruitment policy. Michael Edwards there in communication with Jurgen Klopp. I think when Mo Salah leaves, they will get a profit for him. Yeah. I think they will get money. They will get money for him. They won't let him run himself into the ground and be worth no value. They will have someone to take over. Luis Suarez left, and everyone was saying, well, how can he leave? How are we ever going to replace him? They won nothing with Luis Suarez. They never won the Premier League, which they want to win. Coutinho was the same. They continually do it and they continually get it right.
I suppose we're looking then at Mo Salah and his future in terms of where he is in his, journey as a footballer. Yeah. If he is he is in his late 20s, then is he going to start to decline? Is it maybe about selling him just at that tip of the peak?
I think he's in his prime. I think we've seen over the last couple of seasons he's been fantastic. His numbers are incredible. He's certainly a player, along with Sadio Mane, who I wouldn't want to leave if I was a Liverpool fan. But they know, they're experts. They're seeing him day in, day out. They know. I think there's another year or so left in him. I think they'll win the Premier League again this year. I think he'd be crucial towards that. Now, I think they need to replenish. I think he'll still be of value down the line, another year down the line. They won't wait until he's 31, 32, then loses his value. But, I'm not sure Liverpool would do what Arsenal did with Aubameyang, for instance, and sign him on a long-term big contract when he's pretty much coming down the hill a little bit.
Because as much as that front three are crucial, and Jota's come into that sort of attack line and fitted in really well with them, there is a point at which they aren't going to be there eventually. They aren't going to be at their peak again. Yep. Salah turns 29 in June. Is it something that Liverpool have to be thinking about?
So, yeah, absolutely. It's a business as well, and he's an asset. And at some stage, you've got to get the most you can for the asset. And I feel that what Mo Salah's done at Liverpool up to this point, there's not much more he can win from a club level. He's won everything at club level, World Club medal. He's won everything. So there's got to be a time where he's thinking, yes, okay, I'll win the Premier League again, might win the Champions League again. But then if you do get the opportunity to be able to go to one of those clubs, I'm sure that he used to dream about when he was younger, Real Madrid or something like that, then you're going to want to go. And Liverpool are going to want to facilitate that because they want to get the most they can for Mo Salah. The money what they paid, he's worth 3 times that now. So for them to continue to keep him through that time when they've got people that may be able to come in and do just as good a job, or get somebody to come in and maybe kick on again, because when Mo Salah went to Liverpool, there's people thinking, whoa, Mo Salah. And then bam, look what he's done. Liverpool don't get it wrong too often with the people that they pick up. So yes, when the time comes, the Liverpool and the way they've done business up to this point, they'll sell him at the right time, and they're right to do that.
But it is true that not just up front, but also the midfield, if you look at them, the age structure of the team is such that you will have to have that transition over the next 2 or 3 years, because you can't wait until they're all 31, 32 and then say, we have to change. So things have to begin to be put in place. And I think that's going to be Klopp's biggest challenge in many ways, because this team now is built to win now, and they are the best team, and they're probably the best team in Europe, maybe alongside Bayern. But to keep that same level over the next 2 or 3 years, before he perhaps leaves when his contract runs out, Jurgen Klopp, in 2024. I think that is the next big thing. And the Salah discussion will come into that, because if Salah does leave and you find somebody who buys him at the price that you think is reasonable, that can help you then usher in that transition a little bit quicker, because he will bring, 150 million euros?
Easy.
So I think this could still be a big talking point this summer.
This summer, but not immediately. No immediate panic for Liverpool fans. Thiago, as we were saying, is and has been back in training, but he isn't fit for the weekend's game. James Milner and Xherdan Shaqiri are back in contention for Liverpool. Are we thinking, from what we've seen of Liverpool, the end of last season, beginning of this, going into 2021, that do you think that they're the favourites to win the title at this stage?
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah. The way they're playing, the mentality, everything seems to be working in the right direction. The youngsters have come in and they've got the right mentality. The older players, we're looking at Mo Salah and Sadio Mane getting taken off and both having massive strops. That says to me that he's still got a team that's very, very motivated to win and to achieve. I think it's a brilliant thing to see. So, yeah, Liverpool are by far easy the team to catch, especially what we saw when they dismantled Crystal Palace the other day. It was brilliant to watch, obviously, but not for me, obviously, from Palace point of view. But I've been on the end of a 9-0 with Liverpool. I know what it's like, but
I was there. But I had to leave for the last goal. I had to get up early for school the next day.
but watching the way they beat